All right, what's going on, guys? T Torres back here for another video. Finally, we're gonna have an update video on the Honda Acty. So I don't know, I was driving the Honda Acty and like the truck would turn on, it would auto fine, it would drive fine up until right around like 20 to 25 miles an hour. It almost seems like there was like a fuel cut. It would just completely cut off, and I didn't know how to diagnose it. I finally figured it out. There's a low pressure solenoid, and then there's a high pressure solenoid. One of the solenoids looks like this, and then I have the other solenoid here. Got those from Japan. I'll show you the part numbers here in just a second, but those have to be, I don't know if one of them doesn't have the correct voltage and it's not letting it, you know, actuate like it's supposed to, but it has just been so hot during the summer. Thankfully enough, my buddy was graciously, he went and picked up my truck and brought it over here. Now we're working in a AC garage, so thank you for that. So let me show you what we did, or what I did, what we did to get the carburetor off. All right, so as you can see here, this hole right here is where the carburetor was supposed to be. There's about 1,000,001 vacuum lines you got to get off. You got to take the throttle cable off. I took a picture of all of this to so I can remember how I did it all. There's a bunch of stuff you have to get. This fuel line here looks to be like an aftermarket fuel line. So I went to O'Reilly's, got some more hose, got some more vacuum hoses, and here is the carburetor. Now I'm going to tear it apart. I got a gasket kit from Japan as well. I've cleaned it down with some carburetor cleaner. Some pretty nasty stuff was coming out of it. So the solenoids that we're going to replace is this one here and this one here. And then hopefully we'll put the battery on tender, let it charge up for a little bit, and then hopefully this will solve the issue of the fuel cut. Other than that, the truck was running perfectly fine. And I've kind of lost a little motivation to get this as my mini motorcycle hauler for a mini truck. So I don't know. I'm on the fence if I'm going to sell it or not. You know, it actually does have Florida title, so I may or may not sell it. So let's get to breaking down this carburetor and changing out these sensors. Oh, here are your part numbers for, this is the low pressure, this is like the high pressure one, and then under here is your just generic HA3 gasket kit for the carburetor itself. All of this came from Japan, so it came over the span of, I don't know, a month to get all three of these parts collectively. All right, so as you can see, we Keith and I got both the solenoids in, and we took where the butterfly sits, shot some carburetor cleaner throughout the whole thing, got the entire carburetor built back, and I ran to the parts store last night, got some, well, like I said in the previous video, got a new fuel hose and some vacuum lines, and we put a new gasket on the top here, sprayed all that out, and then I added a new bolt here. There was one here that had a lock washer on it, but it was an absolute pain in the rear to take off last night. So we're not putting the old hardware back in, we're putting the new hardware on. And then now all we got to do, I got the rest of the line off of the fuel line right there, and we're going to put the new fuel line on now. All right, just to give you guys a little update, we got all the vacuum lines, everything's back in, bolted, locked, ready to go. Just got to get a torch, do the heat shrink on those two solenoids, hook up this fuel line, and then I think that's it. All right, we got everything buttoned back up. We got the throttle cable back on, all the cables, all the vacuum lines, got the new fuel line on. And what I'm doing now is I'm going under the truck and replacing the fuel filter, which here is I believe this is the part number for the fuel filter. I'll have a link down in the description to all this stuff as well. And then we got the battery charging, and then fingers crossed, we should hopefully this thing should start. The truck's only been sitting for maybe three and a half months. But unfortunately I don't have ethanol free gas in here. So get this fuel filter changed, which is right under here. There's like a cooling fan, and then you just pop these two tabs off, and then you'll be able to remove the old fuel filter. All right, moment of truth. get this thing out of gear. Let the fuel pump prime. Probably starving for some fuel. Sound like the battery needs some more juice.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Take 2. Let the battery charge overnight. I put some ethanol-free gas in it. See what we can do here. Okay, so as you saw in that last clip, Keith and I were not able to get the Acty to run. So I got frustrated, stopped filming, but we were able to get the truck to run, idle. But as soon as you give it gas, it dies. We even replaced the fuel pump relay. It correlates to like an 88 Honda Civic fuel pump relay. So that was another $80. Something else we did. We ran new fuel lines. The 2 new solenoids, obviously, as you saw in the carburetor, were changed. It's got a new fuel filter, and we went straight from the fuel pump to the fuel filter, straight into the carburetor. The truck runs a lot better. I cleaned the carburetor out, cleaned the jets out, can get the truck to idle, but for some reason, as soon as you give it gas, it wants to die. I've reached out to a couple people. You know, everything they said to done, we've done, and we've checked. And so at this point, I feel defeated. So what I'm gonna do is get the truck back over to my house, and I'm gonna sell it as is. The next buyer, you know, I'll be honest and upfront with them, let them know the truck turns over, it runs, but as soon as you give it gas, it dies. So if they have more experience or knowledge with these trucks or the carburetor, because I really do not feel like taking that entire carburetor back off the truck. The needle looked good. The spring was good. The jets were good. It was a little gunked up, but like I said, I sprayed some carburetor cleaner, got in there, cleaned everything out. Like I said, truck runs, it starts, it idles, it just will not. As soon as you give it gas, it's like almost immediately it dies. And I thought those low pressure or high pressure 2 solenoids that I rebuilt, I thought that was gonna fix the issue, but that's not gonna do it. So Saturday, the truck will get back to the house, and it is going up on Facebook Marketplace. I'm tired of dealing with that headache. It was an absolute pain in the rear to just keep falling on her face, and I just felt defeated. But thank you, Keith, for helping me. Yeah, if you're interested in the Acty, shoot me an email or a DM, and it will be on Facebook here in the next 3 or 4 days once the truck gets in my driveway. Thank you all so much for watching. I feel so defeated. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, leave this video a big thumbs up, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.